One thing I like to explore on this channel is how outside factors can cause a film with potential to be completely rejected by audiences. And as I continue to grow as a film analyst, I can't deny that I can also struggle to watch films objectively. Today I want to talk about a movie that I not only genuinely love, I actually give it a lot of credit. But if I had seen this movie at a different point in my life, I might not feel the same about it. The film I'm talking about is the 1996 romantic comedy, Mrs. Winterbourne.
Sounded kind of hysterical before, so you didn't really want to listen to me. So I'm gonna be real calm when I tell you there has been one major screw-up here.
Is that so?
Yes, it's so!
In Mrs. Winterbourne, Ricki Lake plays Connie Doyle, a down-on-her-luck woman who is struggling to support herself after her deadbeat boyfriend kicks her out after she gets pregnant. In a crowded train station, Connie accidentally ends up on a train heading to Boston. On this train, she befriends a man and his very pregnant wife. The train is involved in an accident killing the couple, and due to a mix-up at the hospital, they think Connie is the other pregnant woman. Since the man was estranged from his family, they have no idea what his wife looked like. Released from the hospital, she is taken to the family home of the man, where she meets the man's mother and the man's twin brother. With nowhere to go and a new baby to take care of, Connie reluctantly keeps up the facade. Eventually, she falls for the brother, and of course, her deadbeat ex-boyfriend shows up, planning to expose her if she doesn't pay up.
She is covering something up. I mean, look at her. A banker's daughter, my ass. Sorry, Father.
No, ass is fine, right, Father?
Well, in Judges chapter 15, Samson smote the Philistines with the jawbone of an ass, but I think that was ass in a different...
Ass is fine.
Mrs. Winterbourne is your typical 90s rom-com filled with familiar tropes like the they hate each other until they don't, the awkward physical humor, and plain over-the-top slapstick comedy. When I first saw Mrs. Winterbourne, I was around 10 years old, give or take, which frankly was probably the perfect age to see this movie. As an adult, I am all too aware of Hollywood trends. Today, if a movie is about to be released, it's most likely going to be a superhero movie or some form of a remake or sequel. Being aware of patterns like this can make a viewer cynical, and the 90s had its own patterns.
All you single women, come on out here and try to catch the bouquet.
Okay, just give me the damn thing.
The romantic comedy was so oversaturated in the 1990s that pretty much every actor ended up in one. Meryl Streep, George Clooney, Sandra Bullock, Tom Hanks. I mean, even human Daria Janine Garofalo made a few. And no, not all were bad. Some are actually really good. But when it comes to 90s rom-coms, more often than not...
You know, like Mother Teresa and the missionaries, they drink the leper's spit?
Yeah.
I was just wondering if you'd drink mine.
Now, how would we actually do it again? I mean, I would just open my mouth and you just spit right in there, or what? Would you spit in a cup a lot and I just drink it out of the cup?
No, it'd be like, I'd pucker my lips and I'd gather the spit in my lips like this. I'd be like...
Yeah, they're pretty meh. But it wasn't always like this.
Maybe I just don't like you.
Me? Nah.
It may be easy to forget, but in the 1980s, it wasn't unheard of for a rom-com to receive praise from the Academy.
I'm in love with you.
Snap out of it!
But by the 90s, it feels to me like rom-coms were reduced to easy cash grabs that were forgotten almost as quickly as they arrived. If I was at an age when I was watching films critically and was aware of the oversaturated Hollywood trend of pumping out rom-coms left and right, yeah, I might have a very different opinion of this film. And to make things worse, Mrs. Winterbourne is also a remake. And let's just say that Mrs. Winterbourne is a very liberal adaptation to its source material.
I'll never get away with it. Never. I didn't know he had a brother. I don't know anything about him. I don't know anything about anybody. He'll find me out.
The end credits of Mrs. Winterbourne says it's based off the novel I Married a Dead Man by Cornell Woolrich, which was a crime novel that was already adapted into a 1950s film noir called No Man of Her Own. Film noirs were these gritty, highly stylized crime films that were made popular in the 1940s and 1950s. Although they were originally considered B films because they were cheaper to make, they were immensely popular and have been lionized in film history. So, seeing something like this...
No, you're making a mistake. Please. No, please. Please let me tell you.
Don't talk now.
remade into this...
Listen to me, I'm not... Ooh, that feels nice. Would you like onion rings with that?
Yes.
Could definitely make some eyes roll. And on a personal note, I went through a phase where I considered film noirs the top of the heap. I even decorated my first apartment with posters from film noir films. I wish I had a photo, but believe me, I did. If I had discovered No Man of Her Own during this phase of my life, and then discovered Mrs. Winterbourne, again, I might have a very different opinion about this movie. Simply because I saw this movie when I did, my take on Mrs. Winterbourne is this. It's a fun little rom-com. Ricki Lake is an underrated actress, and she definitely has chemistry with Brendan Fraser. And of course, Shirley MacLaine steals the show.
Oh, Mother Winterbourne, hello.
Oh, that's what I called my mother-in-law when I first met her, because she seemed so cold and distant.
What'd you end up calling her?
Mother Winterbourne. She was cold and distant.
Believe it or not, knowing the source material, I actually appreciate this movie even more. Again, rom-coms were a dime a dozen in the 90s, and this dark, sometimes even uncomfortable film sort of felt like a breath of fresh air to a genre that was getting stale. But again, my opinion is most likely this simply because of when I saw it. If I was older when this movie came out and cynical of Hollywood trends, or I discovered it at a different phase in my life, this movie could mean nothing to me. Or even worse, I could hate it. I've spent my adult life trying to watch films critically, and I like to think that I could put my biases aside. But a movie like Mrs. Winterbourne makes me realize how easy it is for an opinion to be shifted. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more, check out one of these videos of mine. And please be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell, and as always, until next time.